Have you ever thought about the reason your legs seem to be waning in spite of your attempts to keep up a nutritious diet and continue to move since the stairs appeared? Must surpass their previous level, or do it takes longer to get up from a chair? One might think of it as just answer of growing older. Take into consideration the potentiality that an apparently harmless everyday routine could be negatively impacting this exercise requires using your legs, eating particular fruits that are generally accepted as advantageous for our. What part of the video did you find most interesting? Found most entertaining? Kindly share your comments in the space provided below, or please let me know if you enjoy the content. Think about giving the video a like and signing up for the channel and turning on alerts to be informed of any new uploads today. I would want to share a reality that some fruits may not be frequently discussed, be suitable for people above the age of 60. Some fruits that are fun and frequently promoted as nutrient-dense may unintentionally result in weak legs, joint pain, and a rise in walking difficulties. This video will look at 7 different fruit types to limit, in addition to healthier substitutes that can boost leg strength, bodily suppleness, and aid in total ease in your life. This is a matter of giving up fruit necessary to make well-informed choices to protect your health. Let's get started. We start by a fruit that is ubiquitously beloved. Pineapple provides a deliciously juicy experience and has a seductive tropical taste. A sizable portion of people believe that pineapple is essential in the fight against swelling, ascribed to bromelain and enzyme that is well known for its advantages. However, there is a significant point to think about for people over 60. Pineapples could not be as advantageous as this fruit is thought to contain a substantial quantity of natural sugars. And when we are young, our bodies deal with acidity. Sugar consumption efficiently. As we get older, their blood vessels become more fragile, affects our ability to control blood sugar levels. If uses a tiny piece of pineapple, result in elevated blood sugar levels that could endanger the sensitive blood vessels that provide nutrition for your muscles and legs. What's the salt walking makes leg discomfort? You can notice a rigidity in your knees from standing for a long time, or you may observe swelling ankles even during. Moreover, the acidity that is present may aggravate the skin in pineapple. Joints, especially for people who already have arthritis or persistent discomfort. And I remember Mrs. Ayana, one of my mother's friends, like adding pineapple to her smoothies in the morning on a daily basis. Yet after a few months, she noticed that the knees started to feel uncomfortable, particularly at night. After cutting back on her pineapple consumption and replacing it with foods that are lower in sugar, the pain gradually reduced. The alarming element often equals negative effects might not be immediately apparent. These problems build up over time and are frequently ongoing. Overlooked until they substantial movement. I advise taking into the following considerations. It is recommended that eat pineapple sparingly, especially if you've noticed any signs of joint or leg discomfort, swelling. We'll talk about another. Bananas are a common fruit. Bananas have a pleasant, velvety texture. Taste and are practical for consumption, as well as an important source of potassium. It seems to be a great selection. Does not occur frequently. Said bananas can help with avoiding cramps and improving muscle strength. But for people over 60, bananas can have a misleading appeal. Bananas are high in natural sugars that are quickly absorbed carbs that could result in a rapid rise in blood sugar levels. When this happens often, the body could become insulin resistant, which leads to reduced blood and inflammation circuitry. It is typical to encounter feeling as though the legs are heavy discomfort after eating when climbing stairs, or a rigidity in their joints when you first wake up in the morning. But there's more to think about. Bananas could help with water retention, especially in considering cardiovascular issues. This causes stiff joints and swelling ankles, as well as discomfort. I had the chance to meet Mr. Kota, who liked to eat bananas every day, thinking they were advantageous for the health of his muscles, although had no idea that this behavior was contributing to the edema, and his legs started to hurt more after cutting back on his banana consumption and choosing grading substitute fruits. He encountered a substantial feeling of lightness if you regularly eat bananas and observe symptoms like edema or leg tiredness, it could be wise to reconsider your dietary decisions. Sometimes consuming bananas are fine, but they're advisable. Refrain from doing it frequently. Having investigated the traits of bananas and pineapples are two fruits that may seem harmless, but can present problems that we shall now look at extra fruits and how they affect a little. Catching fruit on your legs may constitute a greater risk than one at first wonder. If you're capable of determining what it is, let's go on to the subsequent action. If you have been following along, Mamu think you're just as fascinated as I am, considering the additional fruits that can quietly impacting our health. We'll start with a simple but eye-catching fruit. Grapes are a nutrient-dense and easy snack choice that is well known for their juiciness and convenience of use. For many people like to eat grapes as a snack while viewing television. But people over 60 may encounter some unexpected problems with grapes. Grapes contain the sugar, fructose, that is directly metabolized by the high fructose intake in the liver may result in its transformation into uric acid that causes buildup inside of this disorder, may cause pain in the joints and edema, especially in the toe. Shave you ever had knees and ankles felt an abrupt, severe discomfort either in your big toe at night or experienced knee stiffness follow a typical day? This could suggest increased levels of uric acid when eating grapes may playing a role. Moreover, fructose helps with persistent inflammation in the body. This may impair your performance and put strain on your joints. The issue with grapes is their exceptional simplicity of use. One may intend to use just a small amount of quantity, although it frequently leads to the complete selection being exhausted before to expected the sugar to build up can quickly cause you to feel uncomfortable in your legs. I advise you to moderate your grape consumption, especially if you've noticed any joint discomfort or swelling. Take into account choosing fruits that have less sugar. Therefore they'll be spoken about next. We'll talk about watermelon. Is a symbol of summer, and cooling watermelon seems to be harmless, isn't it? It's most like comprises water, has few calories, and makes a perfect light snack. But watermelon reality is as follows: has a glycemic index that is noticeably elevated, suggesting that it raises blood sugar levels that are quickly comparable to sweets for younger people. This might not be amateur worry as we become older. Our reduced ability to control insulin resulting in increases in blood sugar that can cause inflammation, particularly in the legs. One could feel worn out and think edema in calves or pain while brisk exercise while strolling. I remember Ms. Winona as someone who enjoyed eating watermelon all during the summer. Thought it preserved her body hydration and coolness. Yet she was without knowing that every time she took a few cuts would be made to her knees. Discomfort following her watermelon reduction consumption and replacing it with alternative apples. She observed a change in her stair climbing capability. Watermelon can be readily overindulged because of its sentencing flavor and delicate texture, but do not be fooled by its aspect. That seems harmless if you notice that your legs are more tired than before. Following watermelon consumption, think about cutting back on your consumption and observe how your body reacts. Next, we will talk about a fruit that is commonly ignored for its positive health effects. If you can relate, do leave a remark in number 1 to the current circumstance, or number 2 if you consider it helpful. If this video inspires, third point would be reflection. To think about oranges, which are abundant in vitamin C and often appear in drinks or as part of breakfast. However, for people who are older than 60, oranges could present an unexpected citrus acid is present in oranges, which may be advantageous for younger people. However, it could result in joint discomfort, especially in older folks. This acid penetrates people who have arthritis, the bloodstream, making things worse, swelling and growing pain in the ankles, hips, or knees, as well as oranges' high sugar content may contribute to blood fluctuations, sugar levels that cause elevated body-wide inflammation. I once overheard someone say that they consume orange juice every morning, thinking that strengthens their immunity. But they didn't know that this practice was causing their knees to become rigid every morning. We have made our way through a fascinating journey from grapes and oranges to watermelon. However, there's still other fruits to think about as well as a few exceptional substitutes for encourage the health of your legs. Are you ready to explore further? Let's move forward without delay. We have looked at a number of typical fruits that could have a detrimental effect on your legs after the age of 60. We will next continue on to the last of fruits on the list, and then I'll show some of the choices to improve your health and adaptability first. We are to talk about green apples, a food that seems to be a more secure choice because of its green. Apples have a reduced sweetness level, a fresh and crisp choice, which makes them a popular option for people looking for a healthful snack. It's important to know that malic acid, found in green apples, is the substance responsible for this acid's acidic flavor, has the potential to irritate the stomach tract system and joints in the elderly as people age. The stomach lining tends to grow more sensitive, raising the possibility of malic acid into the joints, causing pain in the knees, thighs, or hips, and people could experience a scorching feeling in their feet, or encounter stiffness in the joints after the usual eating of green apples. In addition to whereas green apples are less sweet, still have organic sugars that could cause variations in blood sugar levels in people who have slower metabolisms. Have you ever had leg cramps when evening? Have you had a feeling like your legs are weak when climbing stairs, which could be a sign of the daily consumption of green apples as a starting point? Think about preparing green apples rather than eating them raw, or choose to the fruits with less acid level. Whereas durian is valued by many people for its unique ethic and sugary taste, it might not be the best choice for senior citizens. This fruit is distinguished by high amounts of sugar, fat, and calories that can make older people more susceptible, help alleviate indigestion and bloating, especially as the digestive system may deteriorate with age. Regular consumption of durian might be a factor in high blood hypertension, increasing the likelihood of headaches, stroke, and cardiovascular problems with the amount of sugar in durian's capacity to raise blood sugar levels. Levels that have a substantial influence. People who have type 2 diabetes, increased levels of blood sugar and elevated blood pressure may result in impaired flow of blood in their legs, which could lead to problems like such as arthritis, numbness, and swelling. Greatest mobility as a result. It is advised that older people limit their durian consumption, choosing instead small servings and refraining from consumption in the evening or when feeling worn out, in order to lessen any possible negative impacts on general health. And leg longan and function. The techie are two fruits that are renowned for their attractive sweetness, but overindulgence may pose a number of health hazards to the higher blood sugar levels. In order to please, these fruits could result in a quick possible rise in blood sugar, jeopardizing the control of blood sugar for people who have type 2 diabetes or those who are susceptible to during the warmer months. Pre-diabetes eating lychee in excess or longan can cause heat flushes, as well as a possible rise in body temperature, resulting in exhaustion, sleeplessness, and a quick heartbeat. In addition to the warmth characteristics of these two fruits, may increase the chance of experiencing constipation and intestinal problems that may make it more difficult to absorption of essential minerals required for long-term good bone and joint health. Blood sugar levels can result in a number of issues in the elderly, such as joint discomfort, numbness, and swelling. Feet, reduced mobility as a result. It is advised that older people limit their longan and lychee eating, especially in the evening or on pleasant days, to protect their blood sugar levels for cardiovascular health. And rambutan is a tropical sport for leg health. Fruit with a noticeable sweetness. Nevertheless, excessive use by the older people may have a number of negative consequences on health that are especially alarming. Blood sugar levels and the condition of the leg's fruit is made up of different basic sugars, such as fructose and glucose, which could potentially result in abrupt increases in blood sugar levels, which can lead to a loss of authority for people who have metabolic diseases or diabetes conditions that cause high blood sugar levels. Can cause weariness and lightheadedness, while affecting blood as well circulation, which could cause edema, arthritis, and numbness in the limbs. Moreover, high intake or floating may result from rambutan. Sleepness, indigestion, and high blood pressure, especially during warm weather, because it generates heat characteristics. The combination of these things that will make bone and joint problems worse problems, as well as difficulties with mobility in senior citizenry. Consequently, it is recommended that the older people to limit their intake of frambutin, should they decide to incorporate it into their diet. It is advised that they do so in moderation and following major meals to minimize any possible negative consequence in general well-being and leg function. Finally, we ought to talk about mangoes as a fruit. It is well known for being exceptionally sweet. Mangoes have a delightfully silky texture and scent which makes them ideal option in the summer. Although for those 60 years of age and older, mangoes are thought to contain a lot of sugar. Information in their makeup, such as a significant amount of natural sugar resulting in a quick and significant rise in blood sugar levels. This causes inflammation inside the joints that specifically impact the ankles, knees, and hips. In people with neuropathic problems could experience a burning feeling. Swelling or numbness in the toes during mangoes are light in the late hours. It easy to eat often result in people to unintentionally cleavering and making things worse. I remember the story of Mr. Tyler Simeone, who is passionate about eating, thought mangoes were a healthy dessert that's better than candy, but he didn't know that every mango season would cause more discomfort. Severe edema in his legs after consuming mangoes. He had a feeling of lighter weight in his. If you like mangoes, it is advised to use them sparingly, then mix them with foods high in fiber. Help lessen their impact. At this time you might be thinking about what your best course of action is to be calm. A range of outstanding fruits that contribute to preserving the health of the legs and reducing joint pain. First, ought to talk about berries like strawberries, raspberries, or blueberries. These goods are high in nutrients and low in sugar, antioxidants, and help to improve blood flow, decreased edema, and reduced stiffness in the joints. A little each day consumption of berries can result in notable tree benefits. Are the next item on the agenda. Nonetheless, it is recommended to eat them. Cherry consumption in moderation adds to lowering uric acid levels, contributes to the avoidance of joint pain, and reduce the burning feeling. Knowledgeable about avocados constate. A really good choice. In fact, avocados are under the category of fruits, and they are abundant in good fats that aid in lowering inflammation and protecting your joints, which can be mixed into salads or smoothies. Peppers are a fantastic option, being readily absorbed, and abundant in pears contain anti-inflammatory enzymes, which free sweet apple that keeps its blood sugar levels that offer long-term vitality, without creating discomfort in who have made significant progress on your legs. Advancement from recognizing the advantages to setting limits, and finally to uncover outstanding alternative. It is important to remember that fruit doesn't have to be avoided. Choose the foods from your diet that most suitable for your present stage of small changes in life, like replacing only mango with a tiny amount of berries have the potential to cause major enhancements. You'll encounter more fluidity in your motions, increased suppleness in the morning, and above all, you will be putting your health first. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and observations. Have you benefited from watching this video? Whatever fruits you want to cut back on, or maybe you're thinking about trying out some new fruit alternative, don't hesitate to share your observations in the space provided for. Commence's story has the capacity to inspire and uplift others. If you thought this video was helpful, please like and become a channel subscriber to be sure you remain current with more valuable health insights. Please make sure that you turn on the notification bell. Vital to understand that regardless of age, everyone has a right to a healthy and full life. I send my warmest regards for your joy.